excited to celebrate Mr. Tony Golson for graduating. He's been coming to us from Kentucky, and so he's been traveling every week. And so we've been kind of his home away from home, and he's gotten to travel with his good friend, Mr. Everett. So we're just so happy for you, and we're honored to be a part of your care. And we're also really excited as a center because Mr. Golson is number 200. So there's your certificate, and here's your pin. So happy for you, and feel free to say a few words if you'd like.
200.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'll take it for this. So, in November last year, I got the results of my PSA test, or no, my biopsy, and 7 of the 14 cores came back bad. So, so you get those results from your urologist, and he hands you a piece of paper and says, okay, here's the 8 forms of treatment we have for prostate cancer, which is kind of nice. So you don't know what any of them are. So he goes, well, you're past the first 2. We're past waiting and past watchful waiting. So we're down to 6. So we've got surgery, we've got external beam radiation, we've got seeds, we've got proton beam, we've got chirotherapy, and we've got HIFU. You don't know what any of them are, so you go do your research, and you do your research, and you come back, talk to people, interview with them, and figure out what you want to do. You know, so you go through the different options. Didn't like surgery. My dad had prostate cancer at 70s, 93, so hopefully I've got some of those genes, and I'll make it for a while. So we go through all the things. I don't like surgery. Seeds probably work, but when you have urgency and frequency issue, Dr. Gray said, well, you're really not a good candidate for that one either. Got proton. Now, the sheet from my urologist, we got to do a little education. Proton beam therapy, a fancy form of external beam radiation, not available locally. You know, when you got cancer, you really don't care whether it's available, the treatment's available locally, globally, or wherever you want the best treatment you can get. CyberKnife for the cyber therapy didn't have a lot of information about that. And then HIFU, it's a little different now, but at the time, you could write a check to the doctor, give him $25,000 cash, go to Mexico, and they would do the procedure. Now it's been approved by the FDA. When I go to Mexico, I don't drink the water, much less wanting to give a doctor $25,000 and go down there and have something done. You know, I'm not sure how good that would be. So, came down to meet with Dr. Gray and the staff December 6th of last year, decided this is what I want to do. Out of all that research, I never thought and to think, well, which ones of these does insurance cover? At the time I found out I was 60, I'm 61 now, so I'm not on Medicare. Medicare paid for it at the time. The thought of what insurance paid really didn't come into my treatment option. So I fought with them for about 9 months, still fighting with them. Got to the final 3rd appeal, got denied, said, okay, we gotta go ahead and proceed with this. So we started September 16th, got through today. You know, for the urologist that writes on there that proton beam therapy is a fancy form of XBT and not available locally, I'm going to educate him on that. But it's been a great experience. Like I said, Everett's been down here with me. We We've known each other for 30-something years. A medical discovery we made that Dr. Gray doesn't know yet. Everett found out 3 months after I did. He said prostate cancer is contagious. That I gave it to him one day when we were playing. So I don't think that's in the medical journals yet, but it has been.
Want to know how?
I don't either. So you go through this and you got a new vocabulary. You learn about Gleason scores, space OR gel. I found out what the OR stands for, and that's organ at risk. So, and that would be your rectum. So, I in my research of people that went through this, I talked to 7 people that done proton therapy. 2 of them were old school and had been through the balloon treatment in Bloomington. 3 of them had been to the sister organization in Knoxville. 1 been to somewhere in Chicago, and they all had positive results. So I decided, okay, this is what I want to do. And we went through that, being well watered, being overwatered, we learned. Everett and I got to walk of shame once or twice when we went back and did ultrasound, and back we came, and that was the day after we played golf when it was 95 degrees. So we've done all that, but looking at the name of Provision Cares Proton Therapy, when you kind of break this down and you look and you say, okay, somebody in Knoxville probably figured this out, or they paid a lot of money for it. But if you think about the name of this organization and you take Provision and you break it down to pro, qualified in a profession, that's all of y'all. Vision, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Pretty neat treatment. Cares, and I haven't figured out why cares is all capital letters, but I'll get that at some point. So my college teachers wouldn't like it because I'm going to use the provision in the definition of this one, but cares is the provision of which is necessary for the health, welfare, maintenance, and protection of someone or something, which is pretty neat. Therapy, treatment intended to relieve or heal a disorder. And then Proton, I was an accounting major, I didn't have a lot of science classes, but it did remind me that, the proton and the element table, that the element number was how many protons were in an item. But if you look at that, Provision Cares, and look at the definition of those words, it says a lot of hell. On our radiation vacation, Everett and I played golf 2 times a week. We did some historical things. We like history. We went to Hermitage, Andrew Jackson's home. We went to the battlefield for the Battle of Franklin. We went to the Carter House, the Canton House. We went to Belmead last week. Again, played golf a few times. And then we went to the Rolls Royce dealership one day this week because they don't have those. And Everett went to the bathroom, and that was the highlight. Everett went to the bathroom in the Rolls Royce place. Now, there are some of you that graduated from Austin Peay University. If you'll raise your hand. Are they out here? No.
Justin's
Because Everett and I went to Murray State. And at the time we went to Murray, it was a dry county. So our cheer was, let's go south. You had to go south to get a drink. You know what Austin Peay's cheer is? Let's go Pete. Well, that's not a real good thing to be talking about in this area. But, so that was one of the things. So we're going to ring the bell and did a little history on why do we ring the bell 3 times and different things. And there's some neat things that go with that. In the early days, when they rang the church bells, it was because there was a significant event going on. I think for cancer patients, one of them in 1996 down at MD Anderson, a retired rear admiral in the Navy is the one that did the poem that's on the back here. And then, in the Navy, where he got where it came from is when a commissioned officer leaves a ship for the last time, they ring the bell on the ship 3 times that they're leaving. If you watch college football games and it's 3rd down and your team's on defense, you'll hear the ringing of the bell 3 times because they want the defense to get off. That's a modern interpretation of it. So we're going to ring the bell for 200 people that have done it, the people that are here, and the ones to come. So hold your ears because we're going